Hello, and welcome back to the RSL Rival StarCraft League. This is the last match of the last group of the round of 16. The winner of this will go on to play Panda Bear Me. We'll have a ZVZ or PVZ in that section. It's one of the few matchups that we don't have. If JaKaTaK can pull this off, he did win 2-0 in the first round. My name is JaKaTaK, and with me, of course, is Kevin Conrad, otherwise known as Hjax. How are you doing, other Jax?
Quite well. I'm really excited for this series. It's cool when you get to see two players play against each other more than once because the loser tends to say, well, what can I do better? What can I change? What went wrong? And you get to see players kind of iterate and improve over the course of a couple series.
Yeah, really enjoy seeing that as well. Couldn't agree more. Spawning in the bottom left of Leralac, recently changed to be mad crazy with the third base takification. It is the blue Zerg Namshar.
And in the top left-hand position, we have our teal Protoss player, JaKaTaK. He was victorious in the first series. Everything went really well for him. Both games were kind of just clean. Won them pretty solidly. So I'm curious if he's going to change anything or if he'll kind of just go with the tried and true plan of the first series.
Yeah, looks like Namshar forgot the extractor trick there, so a little bit behind in larva count. Going to be taking the 17 hatch, while his opponent will be going for what looks like a pretty normal setup to take that expansion. Positions, I think, quite nice here for JaKaTaK.
Yep, JaKaTaK looks like he's going to be doing a pretty normal Gate Nexus build. Once again, he doesn't saturate his gases all the way right away. I'm going to have to look at the math of that because I'm curious if it does work out better. Because I don't see many players doing that.
Yep, one of those slight edges that you can get, very similar to extractor tricking after 14 Overlord. That'll make the hugest difference, but if it's better, why not do it? And JaKaTaK seemed to have timed out his gas just the way he likes it. A little bit of style points going on there as well. And we do have that second hatch coming in quickly here, opening up gasless with a hatch pool hatch. Allows you to get those queens up nice and early, start getting that larva streaming. Very important. The larva count, the ability to make larva for the Zerg player, especially when going for early Zerglings or any sort of Zergling styles. But in general, no matter what style, the drone is always a larva-heavy unit. So having lots of larva for that allows your economy to sort of explode quickly, so you can get past that early stage of trying to get your economy up and move quickly into the stage of making so many units your opponent doesn't know what the hell to do.
Yeah, we're seeing a very fast Twilight Council out of JaKaTaK this game, so we might see some sort of blink aggression reminiscent to Game 1 versus Namshar from the first series of the day. Might be interesting. Or he could do something defensive into a third.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going for DTs here. Last time he did blink, we saw the 2-gate with the Twilight Council. He's checking up very quickly here. He's delaying his additional gateways.
He does have a probe
like
there.
It's a DT play. Yeah, yep. There it is. Yeah, DT play here. And you sort of queue up this Dark Shrine. Takes a while to build. And as a result, you can delay your gateways off until later. Go ahead and get those probes building up. Ooh, gonna get an Overlord kill. Nicely done here. JaKaTaK going Overlord hunting, getting a supply block here on Namshar.
And Namshar doesn't really have any other Overlords near JaKaTaK's base, so he's not going to be able to see this Dark Shrine, except for if he manages to get Lings to run by, which looks really unlikely. JaKaTaK has a wall at his front and units in position.
Yeah, this is a interesting kind of a semi-wall going on over here. You have the Adept involved, hanging out, and the Stalker to help zone. Like you said, that early Overlord kill really putting Namshar in the dark, and that is not where you want to be, because that is the land of the Dark Templar. They were born in the dark. You know, they were really digging the darkness, and making everything dark for your opponent always an advantage, but especially when you're going for that Dark Templar.
And Namshar, knowing that he doesn't have vision and has really no idea what his opponent's doing, he is starting spores, so that's one step in the right direction of trying to not take too much damage here.
Yeah, spores are nice because if it's an Oracle, cool. If it's DTs, also cool. You just sort of hedge your bets there and cover a lot of your bases with that kind of a move. Oh, that was interesting. Ah, he misplaced that gateway just a bit. Wanted to make that small hole in the top section.
So we see he warped in 3 DTs, and he's sending them across the map. Namshar doesn't actually have that much in the way of units yet. He has 5 roaches on the way, but if the DTs can get in and get spread out before these roaches can intercept them, he might still be able to kill several drones despite the spores being in position.
Yeah, there would have been, I think, an Overseer if he knew it was DTs, but just went for the spores instead, so they're just going to come in.
Oh, no.
Love his play. We'll absolutely be able to take out this base. When you have 3 DTs, it's the magic number. You can take down a hatchery before an Overseer or Spore can be created. This is fantastic damage already from these 3 DTs.
Yeah, Namshar did build spores at his main and third, but for some reason he chose not to build one at his natural, and that's really coming back to bite him now.
Yeah, cutting that corner was really huge, and actually the Roach Warren and Evolution Chamber are very vulnerable here.
Kills the queen, kills the creep tumor. He might be able to deny this hatch from going back up.
That would be quite nice. And he's even putting a Dark Templar in between the bases there to try to mess with some stuff. Finally, that Overseer gets into position. Oh, hatchery just barely going to be saved here. Namshar did have that 4th base coming down as well, so it's not going to be too big of a hit. 53 drones on 2 bases, only a little bit inefficient. And he hasn't re-spread his workers though. He's doing a lot of long distance mining time, which is very inefficient.
Yeah, and behind this Zaka, he's 3rd base is just finishing up now. He's getting Blink. He has a Forge. He's a Robo. He's kind of going just down his normal path with a nice lead.
Okay, so very good way to start off the game for Zaka. Getting a lot of value out of those DTs, cutting into the economy of Namshar in a major way, especially because Namshar going to that long distance mining instead of respreading workers out to the bases that were still up. Let's start warping in some sentries here. We have seen some, like you were pointing out a little bit earlier, some sentry heavy play from him in the past on Prion Terraces. Let's see if it works out for him here. Going to be moving forward with, did he get Blink? Yeah, he did get Blink. +1 on the way. Very interesting.
Namshar just made 10 drones, so his unit count is going to be very sparse while trying to defend this, and a Warp Prism's moving out, so Zaka's going to have plenty of units to try to put on some pressure.
Yeah, and Namshar pretty spread out right now as far as bases are concerned. Zaka not going to make use of that just yet. Going to try to do this just full frontal assault method here. Ooh, going to take out some units that are getting rallied out, getting between hatcheries. Always useful for that way. And, ooh, late force fields. I think it's going to be okay, though, because his force is still much stronger. Not really in position to refresh those force fields. We'll take out another hatchery. The hatchery sniper over here, Zaka, getting work done.
This build is actually really reminiscent of builds that were popular at the beginning of HOTS, where Protoss players would build a 3rd and kind of just only saturate it for minerals and do some big gateway heavy aggression off of it.
Nice, running through. Look at this. Just getting into these positions here. So many units being pulled here. Workers being pulled. Corrosive Biles being dodged. Zaka's looking very nice. Although he is getting into this bit of a corner here. The final sentry does go down. It's just Blink Stalker versus Roach Ravager. A lot of this about dodging and blinking and ducking. And, dodge, dip, dive, duck, and dodge. 5Ds of dodgeball. Also Blink Stalkers. Oh my god, all these drones, though. Oh my god. So many drones here. Getting taken out. 27 workers killed. If he wasn't ahead before, he is now.
Yeah, and right now Namshar is in a lot of trouble. He's stuck in kind of just Roach Ravager. He doesn't have any real tech units out. And there's this big ball of +1 stalkers pushing his front. At home, Zake is not doing that much. He finally got the gases at his 3rd. And there is a Warpin in the main, so that should be quickly repelled by the roaches. But that pulls units out of position, and now Zake can put pressure on this 3rd, or what was originally his 4th.
The direct and the indirect form a complete whole, said Sun Tzu, and Zaka said, yes, indeed, I will kill a hatchery with your wisdom and knowledge. Third hatchery kill. GG, Zaka. Excellently done.
Yep, Namshar was just kind of picked apart in that game. There wasn't a whole lot of big fights. Like, there was that one engagement between the Roaches and Stalkers, but for the most part, it was Zaka kind of outmaneuvering and outthinking Namshar, getting the hatch with the DTs, and then moving in and sniping that third, and then later the fourth while he dropped Zealots in the main. Really well played.
Yeah, very reminiscent of the play that he used to beat Namshar the first time, that pulling in multiple directions, small force in the main, big force out on the map. Killing 3 hatcheries is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
It cuts into the larva, cuts into the economy, and just pushing, I wouldn't even say small, I'd say like medium-sized advantages all the way to the victory. Very nicely done here. Next map, which could be our final map of the night, is Dusk Towers.